All right, guys, here we are at this sublease that makes over 11K a month, completely on autopilot. Again, I do not own this property. And if you're watching this video, hopefully you watched part one, because this is part two of part three. And in this video, we're gonna do a tour, talk about how we set it up, how do we maximize our nightly rates, and some of the unique things that we are doing to really maximize the revenue and the occupancy. So as you can see, we are here in the living room, dining area, and the kitchen. One of the things that I love about this property is the open concept. You know, nowadays, a lot of times when properties have all these walls, people who renovate and develop properties, we knock down those walls because we want to create this open concept. And again, this is a new construction, so they really put a lot of thought. One of the things that you notice is some really nice decor on the walls and things like that. And I actually hired somebody to do the decor because one of the things that I'm not good at is decor. And so I'm always a big believer in hire people who are experts at what they do. With the first 4 Airbnbs that my wife and I launched in 2017, my wife used to do all the decor and stuff, but now we got babies, we got a second baby that's coming any day now. So now I just hire it out to other experts because I know that if my properties are the best in the area, they're gonna get more revenue, more occupancy, and ultimately more cash flow. One of the things that's super important, guys, is providing a welcome book. That way you have all the check-in procedures, all the checkout procedures, some FAQs, some of the rules, even things to do in the area, restaurants, or anything that requires explaining. You want to put that into the welcome book. So let's continue on to one of my favorite parts of the house, and it is the game room. Now, as you can see out here, there is parking for like 4 vehicles, right? Right now we got 2 Teslas, my Tesla and then my videographer Quay's Tesla. But you could fit about 4 cars in this front area, and it's a nice gated property. So therefore, we don't need parking space in the garage. So instead, let me show you guys what we did. We wanted to be able to create a staycation experience. What does that mean? Especially during the pandemic and the lockdown. Yes, there was a lot of people that stopped traveling by plane, but people were sick and tired of being home, including myself. I'm sure you guys too. And so what people started doing is actually staying at Airbnbs in the same city or nearby city where they can have a staycation experience, right? Without having to go on a plane. So here's what the game room looks like. And what we did is we set up a little pool table, right? So let me show you guys how this is done. All right, check this out. Ready, guys? Boom, just like that. I didn't make one, but it's all good. It's about progress, not perfection. But again, one of the things that I like to do is put a game room in every single one of my properties. Most of them have a pool table and a foosball table. We used to have one here, but again, I haven't been here since we launched it almost 3 years ago. So I think it needed some repairs and it got really bad, so we just threw it away, but we need to put a new one. We got the big, Connect 4 over here. And then we have the cornhole over here. Again, just to be able to create a staycation experience, because when people book Airbnbs, it's really for 2 reasons, right? They're either booking, property XYZ because it's close to the wedding, the theme park, or for whatever actually brings them to the area. And the second reason people book Airbnbs is to actually have an experience in the home. And that's why a lot of my properties have a game room, a pool, a jacuzzi, because you can have a great time without needing to go somewhere else. And that's why the staycation strategy works really well. So if you happen to have parking somewhere else, but you also have a 1, 2, or 3 car garage, you can create an awesome game room in order to create a unique experience. So now, let's go to the upstairs and let's show you guys the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and how we set everything up. So again, this property is 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. So let me take you to the first bedroom here. And one of the things that you'll notice, guys, is that this property is all carpet, which is not my favorite just because it does get stained pretty easily. At least it's kind of like a darker color, but just really avoid carpet, especially if it's like super light colors, right? If this was my property, I would have tore out the carpet and put hardwood floors. It's a lot easier to maintain and just looks a lot better. This is a strategy that we used to implement at the beginning, right? We're like, how do we maximize occupancy? And so we actually, believe it or not, used to host 16 people in this unit, which it's a big number, but nobody else could do it in the area. They didn't have the amount of square footage. They didn't have the large enough bedrooms. And so we were able to sleep up to 16, but we noticed that it was really difficult to keep the levels down. And so some of the neighbors were complaining a little bit. So we brought it down to 12 and eventually to 10. And 10 has been that sweet spot. Now, the other thing that I want to share with you guys, because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, is these beds, they're very squeaky. So when people are sleeping and they're rolling over, right, it makes a lot of noise. And the second reason I don't like these anymore is because it's a lot harder, right? Our staff has to climb up over the beds, and then, you know, change the sheets. And like, it's hard because like, ow, see, like, it's a lot of work. And so what we do now is more like what the other bedrooms look like. So let's go to the other bedrooms and show you what the newer strategy that we do. Now, if it's a smaller bedroom, we just want one bed, usually a queen size. If it's a bigger room, we will put a side-by-side queen, which I'll show you in one of the other rooms. But the other thing that's really important is having nightstands, right? Because people want to be able to, you know, everyone lays at night on the bed and they're on their phone, and then they want to, you know, have the charger right next to them, or maybe a drink or a book. So always have nightstands, okay? And also make sure you always have drapes. I know I'm one of the people that I like to have blackout curtains. I don't like the sun coming in because then it wakes me up. And so make sure you always have curtains, okay? So we're gonna go to this other room here that has 2 beds side by side, again, to be able to maximize occupancy. And this is a much, much better strategy than the bunk beds. Again, they don't make noise like the bunk beds because this is just, you know, wood. And we got the nightstand in the middle because we couldn't fit 2 of them. But this is a much better strategy, guys, to be able to maximize the occupancy. Think about it. This property hosts up to 10 people. And we charge, which I'll talk in video number 3 more about the numbers, but we charge an average of $440 a night for 10 people. If these people who normally stay here went to a hotel, they're gonna have to get at least 5 rooms. And if each room is $300, that's $1,500 a night. So they are literally paying a fraction of the cost, and they can all be under one roof and have a much better experience. So let's go to the final bedroom, right? Which is also just a single with 2 nightstands. You got the drapes and a little bit of decor on the wall, but we do need to revamp this place, maybe clean it up, put some paint, and put even more decor, just because, again, this property does really well. It's one of our best performing properties. So a couple tips in regards to the restrooms, guys. You know, I would say the most important thing when it comes to having an Airbnb is the cleaning. You need to make sure that it is spotless, so clean that a baby can eat off the floor, or a human being, right? And so you want to make sure that it's super clean, because I've seen properties like sometimes you go into the shower right when you arrive and maybe there's like hair. I feel like that's really disgusting. So make sure your properties are super clean. It is the most important thing from running a short-term rental business. Another thing, guys, just a couple of minor things. Whenever somebody is staying at an Airbnb, they should feel like they have everything as if they were at their home. So you always want to have these little dispensers for like hand soap. You know, make sure you guys set up these hand towels. Even these rugs here, right, for under the toilet, under the sink. Always, guys, you want to make people feel like they're in their home. You don't want them to arrive and feel like, man, this place is missing all these things. Like, it should literally feel like they're in their home. As I mentioned earlier, guys, one of the most important things is also AC and heat. So you see we got a little thermostat right here, Honeywell Home. The Google Nest are actually better because you can, you know, connect it to the phone app. But it's super important, guys, to have AC and heat, you know, for obvious reasons. Right now it's 90-degree weather every day in LA, and we're shooting content and it feels great in here, but as soon as you walk outside, it's like super hot. You can literally boil some eggs on top of the car. So you want to make sure that you have AC and heat in your properties to be able to create a great experience for the guest. So as you guys saw, there's a lot of furniture, appliances, decor. It was a lot, right? This is a big property, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 1,800 square feet. And it honestly takes a lot of work to set the property up. But if you guys remember that commercial back in the day, you might be too young, I might be dating myself, but to set it and forget it. That's how it is with Airbnb. Once you set it up one time, if you automate it correctly, it'll run on autopilot. But that said, right, everything that you see here was in boxes when it arrived from Amazon. So I basically hired 4 people for 2 full days, and they set everything up. For me, time is not just money, time is everything. I could have spent here probably 8 or 9 days by myself assembling anything. Guys, if you know something about me, is that I am not a handy guy. I like to work with my brain, not with my hands. So I can't even mount a TV. So I just basically automate and delegate everything. But yes, 4 people, 2 full days. That's what it took for them to assemble everything. And like I said, I hired somebody to do all the decor to really create a unique experience and make sure that people can have a great time in this property. With that being said, guys, make sure you guys stay tuned for video number 3, because I will be breaking down the numbers and showing you how much we actually cash flow after rent, utilities, cleaning, and miscellaneous costs. That being said, make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and make sure you guys check out video number 3. And if you haven't checked out video number 1, go and watch that one first so you guys watch 1, 2, and 3. I'll see you guys in the comments. Let me know any questions. See you there.